What are the 5 biggest myths that people with type 2 diabetes face? These myths can be myths propagated by the mainstream media, by mainstream medicine, or things that they've read about or assumed. So my name is Harun Rabbani. I help my clients reverse type 2 diabetes naturally, effectively, and permanently. In this episode of the Harun Rabbani podcast, let us expose those myths. Myth number 5, we begin with the whole thing that you're going to be stuck with diabetes for the rest of your life and therefore reliant on medication. So what is the medication going to do? It's going to help you with your blood sugar control. And for sure, there are situations where you do need medication. If you've got type 2 diabetes, always consult your doctor. However, do you need to be reliant on medication for the rest of your life? And the answer is a big fat no, not for most people. Here's why. As you take more medication, every medicine has multiple side effects, really direct effects as a consequence. Just think about it. You have got 37,000 billion, so 37 with 90 chemical reactions taking place in your body every single second. And if you start tampering or tinkering with chemicals, synthetic material by injecting it or drinking it, then you are very likely going to have a series of consequences, a ripple effect on the rest of your chemistry. How do we know this? Well, we know that all medication have side effects. We also know medications can often lead to reliance on other medications. So you take something for type 2 diabetes, you end up perhaps taking something for allergies or something for cholesterol or high blood pressure, and the list goes on. The thing is, with each medication, of course, you may have taken one tablet to help control your blood sugar level, but before you know it, you're on 2 or 3 tablets a day or 4 tablets a day. But the reality is this: when you're reliant on medication, you're not really managing your diabetes, you're not really controlling them, because all you're doing is slowing down a progression which will potentially lead to complications, so-called, like chronic kidney disease, liver disease, cardiovascular disease, Alzheimer's, dementia, stroke, heart attacks, to name but a few. The truth to counteract this myth is this: type 2 diabetes is a chronic disease, meaning you've had it for longer than 12 months. It's a chronic disease that has been created by your lifestyle. Numerous behaviors and thought processes, handling stress and so on, has led you to where you are. If you want to change your diabetes, you change the lifestyle that got you there. Myth number 4 is this hope that one day the pharmaceutical industry will find you a cure. And for sure, promises will be made. One day we're going to find a cure for type 2 diabetes once you've got it. Yes, it's going to make billions if there was such a thing. But that industry makes way more money from all the other medications that you have and all the other complications that I've already touched upon. Why would they throw away their profits? Here's the reality. I worked in the medical industry, in the devices industry, for nearly a decade. And despite all the advances in medical technology and medicine and the internet, all this knowledge, we have got more sicker people today than ever before. Why is that? Because it boils back to what I said in number 1. It's all to do with your lifestyle. You've got to take responsibility. Take ownership. Embrace the fact that, yes, I've got type 2 diabetes, and also embrace the fact that if I can bring on type 2 diabetes, I can also bring on health freedom away from diabetes. Myth number 3, a lot of people have this belief that if they've got diabetes, they cannot ever have carbs ever again, which is nonsense, because our body needs proteins, fats, and carbs in balanced proportions. There's the ketogenic diet approach, and that's one approach, but there's also the plant-based approach. I don't take sides. However, your body does need carbohydrates in the long run. If you want to reverse type 2 diabetes, you've got to think about changing your lifestyle so it is in a permanent state of optimal living, of good eating. Having stuff like sugars and refined carbs and ultra-processed foods which are full of salts and preservatives and sugar, all of those are bad for you. It doesn't matter if you got type 2 diabetes or not, that's generally bad for you. Either moderate how much of the rice you eat or in the way that you prepare rice, moderate the potatoes and the pasta. And the other thing is, you can have lots of carbs in root vegetables and fibrous vegetables and leafy greens. They are good for you. They're going to support your good health. Myth number 2, this is the big one. People with type 2 diabetes think if they're going to be healthy, they're going to have to eat boring food. Seriously? Seriously. This is an issue for people with diabetes. The mindset has been disturbed so much that they think that their crappy foods that's got them to their state that they're in is the exciting stuff. And here's why it feels exciting. That dopamine fix, that sense of, it's like cocaine. It's like you're taking cocaine and you're giving yourself a high. Why would you want to give that up? Not only that, the fungus, yeast and mold in your body, of course, is craving the sugar, forcing you to do things that you don't want to do, or that isn't good for your health. So food does not have to be boring. The reality is there are approximately 300,000 vegetables species across the planet that you can choose from. But the problem is most of us are only aware of 40 of those vegetables, and most of those people who are aware of the 40 barely have 2 or 3 of the vegetables. If you knew the full range of vegetables, you can have diversity of food every single day. You know the 300,000 vegetables I've just referred to? Well, if you eat a new one every day, it's going to take you a very long time to eat every single vegetable. Obviously, I'm not expecting you to do that. However, if you do take responsibility and you start making good eating healthy, sexy, desirable, not only is it good for you, you may also be able to reverse type 2 diabetes altogether. So be more adventurous, be more courageous, and open your mind, because if you're addicted to something, it's not a good thing. You need to move away from it. It really is about making sure you deserve, or you feel you deserve, a healthy life and a healthy body to go with it. And without a shadow of a doubt, number 1 myth for people with diabetes, especially as they age, is I can't change. I've been eating this food. I've been doing this kind of lifestyle all my life. I could never change. You know, you've heard of the saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, are you a dog? Of course you're not. If you're watching this video and you're understanding what I'm talking about, you're probably not a dog. And if that's the case, then is it possible for us to change? The reality, it's not that you can't change. It's that your desire to be a healthier version of you isn't great enough. You don't have enough motivation to become that healthy version of you. How do you change this? Very, very simple, very easy. All you need to do is ask this question of yourself and keep on repeating the question until you have hundreds of answers. Here's the question. What matters most to you about being healthy? So somebody might say, what matters most to me about healthy is, hey, I have the energy to be my grandchild's wedding. I have the energy to play with my kids. I have the energy to have a great relationship, an intimate relationship. I have the strength to live. I have the energy to be the adventurous version of myself. Hey, I can prove to me that I'm actually worthy of change. I can also be a role model to my children, to my community. You'll have loads and loads of reasons. The more reasons you have to be the new version of you, the healthy version that is, the more likely it is you will change. If you've enjoyed this episode of the Harun Rabbani podcast, you might enjoy this next episode.